I was wondering why we weren't live on Facebook yet. Luckily, we're not recording, so it doesn't really matter.
That's good.
Okay, now we're ready. Unmuting. Oh, we are unmuted. Look at that. I'm just fucking up all kinds of shit today. We're here.
Hi, guys.
Technology. Fucking it all up.
Lilo, go somewhere, please. You're not.
Hopefully, it's streaming on YouTube the way it's supposed to be. Looks like it is. I think everything is working. Life. It's a lot.
I could hear the upset mom steps.
All right, looks like we're all here.
Hi, everyone. Hello. I got here late, so I have to still figure out our food.
Yeah, we are way behind today, guys.
I would have been here 15 minutes early if I-75 wasn't shut down.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's something, like, I don't know, GPSs should be corresponding with route obstructions and shit.
No, it depends on how new the accident is.
Yeah.
You know, it makes sense though. I know that when we are programmed in to go somewhere and we're traveling, it always tells us when we're coming up on shitty traffic.
Yeah.
And some of them actually tell you, like, skirt, go this way. We are not doing a whole lot today other than Q&A and hanging out. So if you guys have questions, we're going to answer them. If you have guaranteed to get your shit read, be sending super chats on YouTube. Are we going to do a private just Q&A on Patreon when we're done, like a hangout session with them?
Yeah,
okay.
I think that would be fun.
Tomorrow you're interviewing Eva.
I am. I have 1 hour left of that book.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. You guys are going to be doing the attachment styles.
Yep, I already have about 10 questions, so.
That's good. I think between the rest of this week, if we do this live, we do a Patreon hangout, and then between tomorrow and Friday, if we just did one episode each day, we're still ahead for the week.
There's an error.
Yeah, it's telling me that it's dropping packs.
I'm hyperfixating on Indian food, so what do you want?
That bowl.
From what?
Wherever it was that you got that little bowl of parfait thing from that you got me the other day.
That was First Watch or Tropical Smoothie?
It was Tropical Smoothie. And
Not
a smoothie.
Tropical Smoothie.
Yeah, and a smoothie. Love that. Christina Lundy said, I got the 4 Agreements book yesterday. I'm so excited. I feel my books to know what would interest me.
Good book.
I feel my books. The 4 Agreements has reminded me of another book I just read. It's called The Journey Home. I got more signed copy books being delivered Friday, like the books for me to sign. So I put more of those on the website. So if you guys are looking to buy my book and you would like it signed, it'll be on the website. It's on our website, tobebetter.com. What's your thought on the books Let Them by Mel Robbins? Never read it.
I've never heard of that.
Aubrey said, how do you make the most of your available time when your partner works third shift and he wakes up, the kids are home from school? Okay, this is a great question. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this?
I'm not. I still haven't got our food ordered yet.
I'll wait.
I think I'm just going to get you Tropical Smoothie because I'm not interested in anything from here.
Okay, well, why don't you get me Tropical Smoothie and Double Dash?
Okay.
Katie Massey said, can't stay long. I'm at work, but Peach, you look so beautiful. Love you guys.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Guys, I'm wearing my emotional support husband shirt today. Do not talk to or touch me.
Yeah, he's on the job.
He's
working.
I'm on place right now.
I almost hit you with good boy, but I didn't know if that would be a thing. You'd be upset by that.
I don't know. I think it would have been a good joke. I don't think it would have bothered me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think that you would ever do anything to like intentionally be shitty to me.
I wouldn't.
So the love letters on The Good Wives wrecked me today, but in a much better way than I already was. So thank you for that, Belle and Peaches. LOL.
Oh, you're welcome.
So if you guys aren't familiar, Peaches has a side project called The Good Wives podcast, and it's with Buff Bell. I think episode 6 just dropped this morning, and we were recorded all the way up to episode 13. So we are way ahead on that too.
We are.
I see Bree's super chat. I'm gonna wait and we'll read that when you're done. I also have a data thing that I wanted to pull up. I was going to make a TikTok about it, but since that question came up about time, I want to answer that question. I think it'll be a fun conversation. Oh, shit. Now you all get to yawn with me. Contagious. Spreading my yawn around like the plague. What kind of Indian food you gonna get, babe?
I don't know. I'm short-circuiting right now. I need to focus on this and then I can keep going.
Okay. We are gonna pause. For those of you who watched the Deadeye interview last night, what'd you think of it? Or this morning? My dog snores and farts like I do, guys.
Yes, he does.
I was somewhat impressed when I heard him snoring, and I was very unimpressed when I had to smell his fart last night. He made the entire room we were sitting in while gaming smell like dog shit.
I'm not getting Indian food because it's $60, so I'm just going to wait until we eat next.
Okay. Are you hungry?
I am hungry,
Then
but
why not just get
because
what you
we're
want?
live and we're supposed to be working right now. So.
What was your favorite part of the Deadeye interview?
The fact that he was willing to talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for me it was the realization in the conversations about lion manes breaking the blood-brain barrier, yes. And that it's suspected that in doing so it can pull other things into the blood-brain, like into the brain to help it. I thought it was a very cool conversation. Oh, look, we're glitching again. All right, so on the time thing, we have 8,760 hours per year. Okay?
Okay.
We work 40 hours a week. That's 20,080 hours a year. And if we sleep 8 hours of night, that's 2,920 hours a year. Forgot to add all that up.
4,000. It's 5,000 hours.
Okay. That leaves you 3,760 hours of free time in the course of a year to do whatever that you want to do. Now, if you remove 1 hour of sleep and you bring that down to 7 hours a night instead of the 8 hours a night allotted that you're supposed to sleep, that gives you an additional 9 weeks of time in the course of 1 year to do things. It's crazy to think about,
insane.
right? Now, if you break it down on a weekly scale, there's 168 hours in a week. If you work 40 hours a week, that brings us to 128. 8 hours of sleep a night brings us, it's 56 hours a week, bringing that to 72 hours left. If you remove 1 hour of sleep every night, that gives you an additional 7 hours a day, which equals one additional work day a week for you to do shit if you were to start getting up early. So for everybody who's saying, I don't have time, what you don't have is time management. You have time. There's a lot of it. You're just not utilizing your time effectively. So to answer that question, because I was going to get into a whole ass time audit conversation on a TikTok with these stats, and I probably still will. You need to write down what you're doing every 30 minutes of your day and do that for a week. And then after 1 week on Sunday, sit down and look and see what you're doing. And I'm willing to bet there's going to be doom scrolling, video games. Yes. Yeah, that's it. And then you go, oh my God, I wasted 18 of my hours this week doing this. And when you realize what your time looks like and how valuable that time is, that shit will slow down a little bit. So just keep going with podcast with Nikki J said, how do you guys handle disagreements? Like what light bulb brightness you want in the bathroom? I can't do super bright. It messes with my eyes and he wants bright. We don't argue over trivial shit.
Yeah,
There's not a disagreement.
Carry an oil lantern with me.
Right. You don't like light.
I also prefer the darkness.
Right. And yeah. I don't because I can't see.
Yeah.
I'm getting old. I need my cheaters and I refuse to wear them.
Right.
And I don't like eating in the dark because what if I spill food on myself and I don't see it and I wipe it and smear my shirt? I just don't know how you don't
know where your mouth is.
Well,
I'm kidding.
Damn. I know where my mouth is. I don't know where my plate is. Can't fucking see. But we're not going to argue over that.
No.
If you were like, I have a headache or a migraine and it's hurting my eyes, turn the light off. I'd turn the fucking light off.
Right.
I'd eat with my cell phone light.
Headlamp.
I'm not going to make a inconvenience or a disagreement on our life unless it's something that is super fucking important that really needs to be discussed.
Yeah.
You guys got to choose your battles, man. Mel Robbins' theory is to let people think what they want, but I'm finding it hard. Maybe you guys, I mean, I agree with that.
Oh, yeah. I live that way.
Right. Other people's perspective of you shouldn't affect your day to day.
Right.
This is the courage to be disliked
Mm-hmm.
by proxy. You can not like me for whatever reason you assign to not liking me. That shit's a you problem.
Mm-hmm.
You not liking me or having a different opinion or thinking ill of me does not change my life at all unless you're like a prospective employer.
Right.
Or, you know, a potential business partner.
Mm-hmm. What people think is a reflection of them and not you.
That's it.
There are people who might be adamantly against what you're doing because it goes against their morals or standard of life or whatever they expect, or they could be totally for it because they think it's the dopest thing ever. Either way, that's a reflection of how they want to live their life and the acceptance of what people can and can't do and around them.
Yeah. I want to Mel Robbins, Let Them. I'm going to buy that book so I can listen to it because I fuck with that. What do you do if it's your mom who thinks bad of you?
I'm not going to talk to my mom.
Yeah. I'm an adult. My mom's opinion of me is her problem.
Yeah.
I don't have to be there. I don't live with my mom. There's no reason for me to be under her roof. And if she doesn't like what I'm doing or she decides that she doesn't like me as a person, I like me as a person.
Yeah.
And my opinion of me is way fucking more important than everyone else's.
Mm-hmm. When you remove that it's my mother aspect, it's just somebody who got laid and then 9 months later had a kid.
Right. Sounds like me when I'm running upstairs. Somebody asked if we still did thank you emails. We haven't done any of those in a while. I don't know if there's even any in there. I'm gonna look real quick though, because that would be a fun. Oh, that was the wrong folder. Yeah, that was totally the wrong folder. That's fucking funny.
PDF emails to read. I don't know if you knew what you were looking for.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay.
That's a whole lot. Where would they normally be?
Feel good, maybe.
Now here's the thank you. Ooh, it's gonna fucking come down.
It is.
Let me go back to the OBS real quick and see if there's anything.
I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go move Carrie's plant because she's wobbling.
You okay?
I don't want her to tip over and lose it.
How do y'all feel about animals on the furniture? I love it, but I hate the dog hair. So they only get up there when they're groomed or called. She's moving one of your plants so that it doesn't fall. Wear your readers. Eye doc here. It will prohibit eye strain, which can lead to headaches and migraines. Completely off topic. I just get bigger shit. I have a 55-inch TV and make it really big, and then I don't strain. It's really easy to see everything.
No, Lilo.
Peaches, what are 2 things that you are proud of your growth on this year? And then Chris, second question, what is your favorite piece of advice that you have given this year?
Well, this year we're only 3 months in. I'm discovering who I am as a person, and that's nice.
That's one.
And I grew past a massive trauma that has been a shackle around my neck for like the last decade.
Yeah. Last 2 days have been pretty big for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty cool to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to tell you I was proud of you, but I feel like that was really poor timing. So I'm just going to say it was really cool to watch. I'll reserve that. I'm proud of you when you're not expecting it, so it has more impact.
I mean, I wasn't expecting it just now. So.
Well, I felt like it would have been like, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm going to save it because it's there.
Okay.
But I'm going to wait until you're not expecting it so that it's a really impactful moment. I'll wait until you're like doing something that's like super flustered.
Yeah.
And then I'll hit you with it because then it'll be.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's been really cool to watch you work through the things that you've worked through and not revert to previous behavior patterns, right? Like yesterday, everything that you did in the morning I was fully expecting there to be a bad day, and there wasn't. It was like a rough 35, 40 minutes, and that was really cool.
Yeah, I was really fighting back like the fuck yous and all of that shit.
Yeah.
Like none of it was your fault,
Right.
but I wanted to blame you and I didn't. So
Yeah, the people that you love the most are the ones that get the brunt of that, no matter what. So, and then
well, I like to think you didn't get the brunt of anything yesterday.
No, I don't think so either.
Okay.
But it's the people you love are the ones that you hurt the most.
Yeah.
Because you take everything out on them. You know what I mean? And that's not a thing for us. But it was in regards to that. I wanted to be like, fuck you, and I didn't.
Yeah.
So, and then my favorite piece of advice that I've given this year, buy my book. There's a whole lot of advice in my book.
There is.
All right, let's read not super chats. Let's read some thank you emails. We haven't done that in a while. I'm pretty excited about that.
I wasn't expecting to read today.
No?
No.
Do you not want to do this?
Not really.
Okay, we can do it another time. We absolutely do it another time. Just trying to make the live stream fluid.
I was looking forward to just doing a Q&A and hanging out with everybody on the chat.
Okay. Sabrina became a member for 19 months. I love this community and the forever friendships I've made along the way while being here. May this prosper for many more years to come. Sabrina, I was supposed to text Mike pictures of the lots behind my house today, and I totally fucking forgot.
You even talked about it on our walk this morning.
I know. Yep, totally forgot.
I don't know if brother Zach is in the chat, but just know that little fucking Coke's on the shelf right now. Can't see it.
Oh.
Yeah.
There we go.
I love it.
Mighty Mouse said, why is it that way? Why do we subject others to the worst of our character? It's because
the worst of their character, not our character.
Well, it would be that we're suggesting them to the worst of our character.
Okay.
And we do that because that's our person. Because on a subconscious level, we believe that this is it forever.
There's an ownership there.
There is definitely an ownership there. And you believe that you can give them the ugly of you and let it out and it not affect them in a negative way, because in the moment that you're emotional and you're doing those things, it is more about you and it's a selfish situation. When you realize how much your ego is involved in shit and how little compassion and empathy we have for our fellow man, it changes your perspective on things quite a bit. Peaches, where do you get your eyeglass chains from?
Homestead Sass on TikTok and Etsy.
Yep.
I saw somebody ask about how we go about talking about things that may cause a disagreement.
Where do you see that at?
Pause. I feel like Peach is sad and hurting. She has to be strong or you're not proud of her. What the fuck does that even mean? I feel like Peach is sad and hurting. I can't even exist. I can't even just sit here without someone going, why are you so depressed? Is your husband abusing you? You look like you're being abused. That is one of the most infuriating things about being on a platform for me. I can sit here and be smiling and cracking jokes and someone will go, I can see the sadness in her eyes. Fuck. Continue on.
I'm trying to find the question that you said you had saw.
Right there.
How do you guys go about talking about issues that are bothering you to your loved one?
Make it a I instead of a you statement.
Yeah. Being able to go, hey, this happened and I didn't like the way it made me feel, changes everything. Because it's not you did this.
Right.
And you have to be clear about how you make an I statement, because if you say, I always feel like shit when you do blah, 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 you didn't make an I statement. You said you feel like, and then threw shade at somebody. Hey, that just happened and I don't like the way it made me feel. Can we talk about that for a minute? It changes everything. You've brought the conversation to a point of, I'm not okay right now.
Right.
And it's not because of you, it's because of the situation.
And how it made me feel.
And it puts the two of you versus the problem instead of the two of you versus each other.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm pretty excited that you're going to be doing that attachment style conversation with Eva tomorrow.
I'm pretty excited about it too. I'm excited to hear her opinion on things.
That's a pretty good question. If my husband is negative about planning our wedding and is more worried about taking a vacation, is he getting cold feet? Love you guys. You want a hypothetical that?
Yeah.
Okay. So when I hear vacation in terms of the wedding, you would think it would be the honeymoon.
Right.
Right? So let's assume that's what they mean. The wedding is usually more for the woman than it is for the man.
Right.
Big ceremony. Like the wedding day is something that most young women fantasize about. That's why marriage is like the goal. People want to get married. It's not about
the production.
Right. They want the wedding. They don't want the marriage. And that's, we have this idea of grandeur. And that's really important to a woman, and to a man that's not as important to us, because it's not about that special day in our dress. It's about giving you our last name, and we can do that at a courthouse. We can give you our vows and our word privately. So there's that. The honeymoon, however, the vacation somewhere where we get to fucking fuck on a beach or bend our wife over a balcony in Vegas over the strip. Like, there's a whole lot that goes. There's a lot of fun that goes into that. So like the idea of spending a lot of money on a vacation and very little on a wedding really does it for most men. And I'm not saying that all men don't care about their wedding. There are men out there who fantasize about that big day and what it'll be to have their woman walk to them, and the vows and the photos and all of that shit. But I think that that's a much smaller number of people than not. Now, the thing that I don't understand is, why is he being negative about planning your wedding? Why are you smirking at me?
Because I'm almost certain you got married in sweatpants.
I did.
Like I
great ones.
My favorite ones.
Yep. What's really funny too, though, is the guy that officiated. His name was Richard.
Richard. We got married in an empty room.
Yep.
And Richard was the only one there.
That's funny.
You were in sweatpants and I was in one of my favorite black dresses.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
So on the negativity aspect of it, though, what is the negative thing about planning the wedding? Is it that he doesn't want to spend a bunch of money on a cake? Or is that he doesn't want to spend $100 on invitations? Like, are you guys trying to pinch pennies to do big on the honeymoon?
Is he overwhelmed at how many people you're trying to invite?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Why is the negativity there?
That's a good question.
That's the real question. Not how do you deal with it?
There's a fucking crack in my glasses and it's all I can see.
The new ones? Those aren't the new ones.
These are like 5 years old.
Yeah. Those are the ones that we broke though, right?
Yeah. No, but it was a different part of it.
Gotcha.
I think I just need to get the lens replaced. I'm saying the F word a lot today. I need to cool it down.
You're real overwhelmed, overstimulated. Yeah. I can tell that you're
got a lot going on.
Trying to. Hey, did I tell you that I messaged the guy that wrote the 4 agreements on Instagram?
What?
Yeah, I found him.
You messaged Miguel?
I did. I followed him and I sent him a message and I was like, hey, we would love to interview you for the podcast. My wife is an absolute diehard fan of your book. She said it's the #1 book that people should read to change their lives.
Yeah.
And we would love to interview you. And he hasn't opened it. But for you guys who are watching, you should find the guy who wrote the 4 agreements on Instagram and blow his fucking Instagram up, tagging To Be Better, and tell him.
Comment section.
Yeah.
Don't DM him.
Yeah. Tell him that we're trying to get him on the podcast. The projection is reeking. We ride at dawn. Oh, man. How do you handle when your partner tells you that you need to control your tone of voice and facial expressions during a heated discussion and you are trying to control it during the conversation and they don't see it? How are they supposed to see that you're trying to control it? How do you display that?
Are you asking me?
Just anybody for that matter. Okay. But yes, I mean, I am talking to you. How would you display that you're trying to control it? If it's not happening, and you are getting loud and you are making faces, how am I supposed to know that you are trying to control it?
Well, if we've had conversations of, this is something I'm trying to work on, but I can't see my face, so I need you to check me in the moment, and I have to be willing to accept that check.
Valid.
So if I'm rolling my eyes or I'm furrowing my eyebrows, babe, you just did the thing. Oh shit, you're right. Sorry, I did say I was going to work on that. I don't want to treat you that way. I also am becoming very aware of my volume. So if I become elevated, I catch it in the moment. I'll stop myself mid-sentence.
Take a breath.
And say, I'm sorry. I can recognize I'm raising my voice. I don't want to talk to you that way. Let me gather myself and I'll try that again.
So there could be a manipulation in that. The idea of not wanting somebody in your life that you claim to love want to correct your shitty behavior so that you can be a better person is problematic for me. If I was somebody that used derogatory language all the time at you in a negative manner during conflict, and out of conflict, it was a conversation that we had, and you said that you really don't like it when I'm elevated and I say those things, it makes you feel less than or whatever, and I continue to do those during conflict, and you didn't remind me and then got mad at me for it, for my habitual behavior, because it's the way that I've always lived my life, we are both doing each other a disservice.
Yeah.
You are not upholding the boundaries that you've set for communication, and you are allowing my shitty behavior to continue, which allows me to take that power away from you, because you'll never be able to reclaim that, because that conversation had been had, and it allows us to continue doing it. If we are in the moment and we've had that discussion, and I was to say something derogatory and you were to check me in that moment, it gives me the opportunity to stop, rephrase what I was saying, apologize, and then maybe have a different conversation. Yeah. Yeah. If this is what being abused looks like, I would be abused next. I think that you've got a pretty dope life, babe.
I think that
That's my ego speaking, because I get to be the man in your life. So
in my early 20s, and I was in my first marriage, I had accepted that I was just gonna be miserable for the rest of my life. That I wasn't gonna be treated like a priority, that I was just gonna be used as a sex object, all of those other kinds of things. Why are you smirking?
Because I'll use you as a sex object.
Right, well, you made me feel good about it.
I flustered myself. Oh, man. Dude, I have to replace that graphics card.
Yeah.
I apologize about the green blips. I have a capture card sitting on the desk. I just haven't gotten to it.
Your food's on the way.
Okay, babe. I apologize. I'm cleaning and listening. I didn't catch the name of the book and author name. It's The Four Agreements by
Miguel Don Ruiz.
Yeah, that's the one.
Don Miguel Ruiz. I think his first name is Don.
I think so too.
Don Miguel Ruiz.
Thank you so much. That's excellent advice. You're welcome. Why don't a lot of men like weddings? Because wouldn't it make sense that they'd love to have that nice commitment celebration of the relationship? I don't think that's the case. And so I'm not going to speak for all men. I can't speak for all men, because we are the fountain sodas and every one of us is a different flavor. I get that. I believe the only thing that a man brings to a marriage is his word and his last name. And if his last name has no weight behind it and his word means nothing, he has nothing of value to give to the woman. There are no dowries anymore. We're not selling each other into marriage or slavery. This is a commitment. And if you can't be trusted by your person and all of that, it doesn't matter. And if your word can't be trusted, your vow ceremony doesn't really mean shit, because your word can't be trusted. I don't need 90 people in suits with flowers and fucking photographers and videographers and Facebook and all of that shit to give you my word. Do I want people to witness and celebrate our union? Sure. But we can do that at a dinner afterwards. We could do that on vacation. We could do that anywhere. The ceremony itself, I believe, is a spiritual, private thing.
Yeah.
I don't need all that.
I'm a woman and I don't like weddings.
No. Is it because of the same thing I just said? Or
no,
do you
it feels like a production.
I agree with that.
I don't want all those eyes on me. I don't want to be nervous saying my vows in front of everybody. It's a very intimate thing, in my opinion. Like, we don't have people in the room when we're having sex. Why would that be, like, emotionally we're plowing right now? I don't want everyone witnessing that.
Yeah. You can give me that Braveheart marriage.
Yes.
I'm down for that. Middle of the night, knees to God, hand wrapping, whatever. I'm for it. Like, that just makes sense to me.
Scroll back up.
I don't know where the first part of that was, so I just scrolled past it. Did you communicate with your partner? Was it? I don't know. Now other people are talking. We're still going. I'm a tech nerd. What kind of capture card are you using? LOL. It's the Elgato Cam 4 so that we can run 4 cameras. This is my 5th one, and it's the only one that I've had a problem with, which is really weird. The Four Agreements is one of the best books I've read from Dawn. Love that statement. Dustin said, listening to you guys daily. Thank you all so much. Thank you for supporting us every day, guys. That means a lot.
Somebody just said that their wife feels like a sex object because he gropes her chest and her butt, but they rarely have sex. If there is no emotional support happening in the marriage, if there is no, hey babe, how was your day? What's going on at work? How's your family doing? If there's no emotional intimacy, yeah, I can see why someone would feel like a sex object. You don't have to have sex to feel like you're being objectified sexually.
There's also something said about being wanted.
Yeah.
Right? And like, this is the TikTok thing where like the woman always makes the face when the guy grabs her ass or smacks her ass. And then when he doesn't do it, she's like, are you mad at me? Mm-hmm. You guys can't have it both ways.
Right.
If my love language is physical touch, I love touching you. Even if I'm not the one engaging the touch, you physically being in contact with me is important as fuck.
Yeah.
Right? And the touching of the butt and the groping and the random O's and all the things that we do throughout the day continues that intimacy, and it builds anticipation for playtime and all of that. And like, we're not in the roommate phase.
Right.
After all this time, the roommate phase is not a thing for us. So if that's a thing for you guys and you're in the roommate phase, of course she doesn't want to be touched, or she feels like a sex object because she doesn't feel loved or wanted. Mm-hmm. Crazy to me.
I make it a point. Like I'm doing it more now. Like I'm consciously making a point to touch you every time I'm standing next to you.
I love that.
Like if I'm standing next to you while you're at your desk at home, or if even if you call me to the other side of the gaming room here at the studio and you're like, come take a look at this, I'm going to touch you for the next 3 to 5 seconds while I'm looking at whatever you're showing me. And then I'm going to put some back to my desk, shake my ass a little bit so you got something to look at as I walk away. If you're not still engrossed in your monitor.
I wake up in the morning before her sometimes and go to the bathroom. When I come out, her ass is exposed and I get to see her butt.
And it's just my ass.
It's perfect. It's fucking perfection. I get to walk out of the bathroom after peeing, half asleep, and I'm like, booty.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, gotta go take the dogs out.
Yeah.
It's a great day. Great
Sometimes
day.
you'll come over and pinch my butt.
Yeah. It depends on if I know you're awake. If I know you're awake and I can tell that like you didn't just fall back asleep with your ass exposed, I'll totally get a grip.
I want you to do it every time.
Yeah? Even if you're sleeping?
Because there's times where I'm awake and you don't touch me and I'm like, oh, I should just stop doing this.
No, it's because I thought you went back to sleep. Yeah. I don't want to wake you up. If I get up before you and I know you're not waking up, I'm not trying to fuck that up.
Yeah.
Because when we have the kids, you're up at 5 every morning. Like I would rather you sleep until 9 on days if I can make that a thing.
Yeah.
Stacy for $2 said, I appreciate you. I'm going to find a thing that you can answer and then I'm going to grab my food off the porch.
Okay.
See if you see anything that you want me to. That's a great statement. Adrian said, men in weddings, my point of view is that we want everything to be so perfect for her and end up stressing about everything that it may not be perfect. That could actually create a whole lot of problems inside of the marriage as well and making it not an enjoyable thing for men. Didn't think about that. There's a $2 super chat with no text. It's a really long one.
That's a really long one. I wish we could see how many people were watching on Facebook.
It says 200, but I can totally make that a thing for you. Oh, on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's been sending data.
Unfortunately.
The last few times that we've been using Restream.
You want me to go grab your food?
No, I'll get up. It gives me an opportunity to stretch my back. I was just looking for something that you could talk about while I go. My food's not going to go bad sitting on the porch. I don't give a shit. There you go. That's a good one.
Okay. How do you come back and get back on track from burnout? When everything is too much, the house, the cooking, the cleaning, the kids, the outside world, just generally everything. How do you keep your aggravation with everything from spilling on everything? So letting that aggravation out is a short-term release that has long-term ramifications to everything going on in your life. And that's something that I think about. I recognize that my children aren't the reason I'm super aggravated in life. I just have a lot going on right now. It's all yours, yeah. My husband touched me and I forgot what I was talking about. How to come back from burnout and not letting things spill out. I also take time to myself, even if it's 5 minutes standing outside, feeling the wind on my face. Little short moments of self-care go a long way in overwhelming days like that. I also make it a point to have good time management. So if I recognize that I'm doom scrolling for an hour and 45 minutes every single day, I could be taking a bath, I could be reading a book, I could be crocheting, I could be knitting, I could be painting, I could be riding my bike, could be going on a date with my husband. And lately our dates have been looked like playing arena.
It's been fun though.
I am having fun. I'm getting better at the game.
Here's a thought for a metaphor for this situation. If your life is a pressure cooker and your pressure cooker is getting ready to explode and all you have is that little weight on the top that's shaking and it's letting out just enough steam to keep it going, it's going to continue to do that. So there's no water left in the pressure cooker.
Right.
Or you can take it off heat and fix the fucking problem and then you don't have to worry about it exploding or
really
you know what I
good
mean?
point,
Or running out of water. Oops, super chat. It's like y'all are extended family. I listen to y'all so much. Hell yeah. What's
I
up,
love
bro? My cousin.
I saw Jenna ask if I purchased my shelf critters. Not yet. So I have two big things that I want to spend my money on this month, right? So I have a credit card, guys. And that's my free spending money. Yeah. My husband's like between $300 and $400 every month. Don't go over that. You can buy whatever you want.
You know why I gave you that number?
Why?
Because I don't want your credit card to go past a certain percentage because I want your standalone credit to build.
That makes sense.
And if you go over that limit, even though I'm paying the thing every month, your debt looks bad.
Right.
So
I need to buy clothes for Costa Rica. And I want to do that sooner rather than later, just in case things get lost in the mail. It takes a while to get here. And I want to buy those shelf critters. So I have to figure out all of those. I told you about it yesterday, like the epoxy resin things.
Yep. The bugs.
So I'm trying to figure out how much I want to spend on each of them.
How about you let me buy some of those?
Yeah?
Yeah, because I think that buying them in glass cases, like displays, would look better than covered in epoxy.
Well, it's like a stand-up hunk of a thing.
Oh, okay. Like a dome type thing? Glass? Can you show me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I can do that.
Dope. Oh no.
Oh no.
This one's different than the last one.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. That's coconut. I love that.
This is from Kenya. Just saw the Deadeye episode. Our justice system is fucked up. Found out my ex-spouse was released early for driving drunk with our son in the car. Lost my TikTok again. Sorry for my vent. Hope y'all are okay. We heard that you lost your TikTok, and that sucks. It is absolutely insane. People like Ash Trevino can be trolling around on TikTok, doing whatever she's doing, neglecting her children and shit. And someone like Wakenya, who's out here trying to make a stand for things and push for what she believes is right, just loses her shit. I saw that. She's now claiming she's an advocate for children. Right?
All right. I saw there was a yellow super chat on YouTube. Oh, that was it. It's just blue on this one for some reason. That really confused the shit out of me just now. Could use some advice. My man cheated on me with his baby mama, and he's very apologetic and acting remorseful, but I don't know if I trust his words at this point. Well, then you don't need to do anything.
I would move on.
Don't be with guys who have baby mamas. If they are not fathers or have a mother of their child.
Right, they have a baby mama.
Yeah, it says a whole lot.
Yeah.
By the way that you guys choose to label things.
Vernacular.
Your words have meaning. Okay. That's pretty cool.
Isn't it? And they're decently priced. They're not hundreds of dollars.
How do I tell my husband it's becoming too much? Corn. Not helping me enough, always fighting, and I want to be with him, but he doesn't hear me, or he changes for a couple days and then he's right back. Sounds to me like he doesn't have a real reason to change.
Right. Ladies, I know that both genders watch pornography. It is a more prevalent thing in the male population. If you are somebody who is vehemently against your person watching pornography and that you view that as cheating and lusting and all of those other kinds of things, if you start dating somebody and they watch porn, I would just move on. That would be one of my requirements for us to move forward over the next few dates or whatever. And I'm that bitch. On the first date, do you watch pornography? And if you refuse to answer or you get flustered or you think it's whatever, thanks for the dinner. Thanks for hanging out. I'll pay for my half. Good luck. Can y'all see Facebook comments? We can. We can see Facebook comments. If it was all becoming too much for me, and like we've had multiple conversations of I'm not happy, what you're doing is too much, I feel like you're constantly yelling at me, whatever. It would then be a conversation of I don't know how our marriage can move forward if this is how we're going to continue to treat each other. Either we need to get into couples therapy, we need to go see our pastor, a neutral ground mediator to try to work through things and gain new coping mechanisms, or we can just cut losses. Thank you for the last few years of learning what I don't want in a marriage, and I hope that you find happiness and peace.
Yeah. I can't begin to tell you guys how much better your life will be when you start setting boundaries and adhering, like making people enforcing those boundaries.
Right.
One thing to say, I don't like it if you do that, and they do it anyways. You never say anything. It's another to say that I won't be with somebody who does these things.
Not going to tolerate that.
Right. And then if they don't change, or they change for a week or two and you have another conversation and it doesn't, that pattern repeats.
They revert back.
You fucking have to hold your ground. Mm-hmm. I promise you guys, for every shitty person that you have in your life, there are at least 10 other people out there who won't treat you that way.
Yeah.
Here's another thing to think about too. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. If you are looking for the same type of person over and over and over again because that's your type,
your pattern,
and you wonder why you can't have a healthy relationship, try something new.
Yeah.
Just because we can see Facebook comments, so it doesn't mean that we're going to sit here and read every one of these, because we have hundreds of comments coming through, guys. So, how do I get the courage to do what I need to do, to say what I need to say, and set and enforce the boundaries? I want to be the person I want to be. Do you really want it? Because if that's true and you really do want it, setting those boundaries and doing those things shouldn't be hard.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine.
Me the wrong food.
Huh?
They sent me the wrong food.
Are you serious?
It's some frozen thing. I'm going to eat the top of it, but I'm not eating that frozen mush.
I hope I didn't order it wrong. I did. I ordered the wrong thing. I'm sorry. I got you the acai bowl instead of the chia pudding.
It's okay.
Does it still taste decent?
The topping is good.
Yeah. Things that I think about, if I died tomorrow and I had to meet my maker and talk about my life, would I be excited to tell him everything that happened and how I was able to set boundaries and all of these other kinds of things? Or am I going to tell them how sheepish I was? And I was too scared to do these things because I was worried about people being mad at me. This is the only time you get to do this. I mean, from our awareness, right? Reincarnation may be a thing, whatever, but on the assumption that this is the one time we get to live our life, and then I have to go meet my Lord and say I wasted it because I was in fear of what other people thought,
right?
Or what they could say, or how they can make my life hard. And this is outside of abusive situations. So before anybody can say, well, if I leave, he's going to threaten to kill me, that's a very extreme and different conversation.
Right. Somebody in the chat said, what you're not changing, you're choosing. And I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
Here's another thought to what you just said, though. What happens when you meet your maker and you say, God, or whatever you believe in, why did you give me such a hard life? Why was everything a fucking battle? And God looks at you and goes, I gave you free will and I gave you tons of opportunity and you didn't take any of it. The life that you're living is the life that you're choosing to live.
Yeah.
Everything that you did was a direct reaction of the decisions that you've made. Yeah. Your hair is looking stellar today, girlfriend.
Thank you. I learned that if I spray my hairbrush with hairspray after I straighten it and then brush it, it gets rid of the frizziness. Yes.
Somebody said that when you get frizzy hair in Florida, you should stick your head in the freezer.
Really?
I don't know why.
I feel like that wouldn't do much. And what if I go back outside?
It's going to frizz again because it's Florida. I'm new here, stumbled across you guys on Facebook Reels. I'm loving all the advice. I just wanted to ask if you want to answer, are you guys Christians? The answer to that is yes. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I don't identify with conformed religion.
I don't either.
I don't agree with the basis of what Christians believe in. And I still believe in the power of rocks and crystals and energies and plant medicine and all of that. So I'm a follower of Christ. I have my own relationship.
Right. That's where I was going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of the organized religion aspect of it. I have my faith. It is my own relationship with God, but it's not conventional by any means.
Yeah.
And that conversation is something that we've had, you and I have had a lot.
Yeah.
I think I don't understand the inner workings of like a nuclear reactor. Doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It just means that I don't understand it. And I know that pushing that button may turn it on, and that's how it works. I push the button, it turns on. It doesn't mean that I understand every facet of the things inside that makes that work. And if God created all of this, and he knew that he was going to make people and the food was going to be the medicine, and he's creating vortexes on the planet, all the things that we can see on different light spectrums that do exist, it'd be really fucking arrogant for me to be like, yeah, it's not true.
Right.
I don't know if it's true or not. I know that this shit works and I don't understand how it works, but I know that I can see that on a different light spectrum, so it's fucking real. There's faith in that.
Yeah. I also play games like Plague Inc. And I think about how it's a whole simulated world and they have new casts and shit. And I'm like, what if this is all just a simulation? They want to see how many people they can get to follow a false lord. Like,
yeah.
The faith is still there. I just make myself spiral sometimes. Oh my goodness, Iggy, thank you. Straightened my hair the fastest I've ever straightened it today, and it actually came out pretty decent.
Dryer sheets apparently work to get rid of the frizz too.
That makes sense. It gets rid of the static in the dryer.
Yeah. Somebody asked about your throat tattoo. It is my hand.
Yes.
Do you feel like the Bible is, so to speak, man-made? Well, it is entirely man-made because it's written of historical facts after the fact.
Documents, yeah.
Even if you have the conversation of God giving Moses the 10 Commandments, Moses wrote them down.
Right.
Those tablets would have been man-made, inspired by God, but it is man-made. Guys, I don't think that you understand how little faith I have in humanity.
Oh, yeah.
Greed and power struggles and the need
Sin.
to suppress and do things is so fucking strong that even if the Bible in its original form was written by God, the moment we got it and somebody
Tainted.
realizes that they can manipulate the masses with it, I believe they would.
Yeah.
And I believe that's every religion across the board. I think that you need to read what you can, understand what you can, and just try to be as good of a person as possible and hope that you got it fucking right. That's really all you can do.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's a great question. Chris and Peach, if you could give yourself one skill that you didn't have to go through process of learning, what would that skill be?
You go first.
I
It's
wanna-
playing a guitar, isn't it?
God damn it.
Yeah.
Why? Why you gotta do that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I want to be like Stevie Ray Vaughan on the guitar, but I have zero patience or desire to learn it. But the idea of being a rock star guitar player and being able to sing acoustically around a fireplace, like
okay, Charles Manson. No,
Charles Manson.
I'm kidding. Yeah, he used to do that.
Oh,
That was a big thing for him.
I think it would be super cool.
Yeah. I mean, Kurt Cobain did that shit too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Rock climbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The physical strength in that is insane.
Could you imagine?
Yep.
We watched that show where was it The Rock?
Jason Momoa,
The
other Hawaiian.
Yeah. The other guy. Had a rock climbing competition.
Yep.
And like watching those people hang upside down and Spider-Man crawling and whatnot and shoving their hands into crevices and praying that there's not a scorpion or something inside of there. Like,
could you imagine free climbing and getting bit by stung by a scorpion? Yeah.
I think I would also enjoy, like, I don't know, parachuting would be fun. Base jumping. But, like, I don't want to be strapped to people. I just want to know how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be, like, butt to dick with some random guy.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
What if it was a woman?
I thought about that, and, like, I feel like the tits on my back would be a lot. Like, I don't know you. This is uncomfortable for me. Like, I'm trying to enjoy my experience here, but I'm, like, very hyper aware that somebody's inappropriate parts are touching me. Yeah.
Okay.
I get weird about hugs, too.
Yeah.
Like, when I hug another woman and our tits touch, I feel like a new sisterhood was just formed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
If it's cold, you guys poke each other. Stormy C says, thank you for all the advice in the book list today. After 20 years of toxic emotions, I had a breakthrough, healed a huge child wound that I otherwise wouldn't have. I'm not broken. I just have more work to do to be better. You're not
love
broken.
that.
We're all damaged, but we're not broken.
I'm still, like, really heavily processing that there is no inner child. It's all just you.
Mm-hmm.
You're the one who was hurt and damaged and traumatized and went through the abuse and neglect and all those other kinds of things that you may have gone through. And your inner child's not healing, you are healing. And me recognizing that I was using my inner child as a way to distance myself from my own healing was a lot. Like, I can't get over that. Yeah. I was disassociating from my own healing.
I was just about to say that. Yeah. Yeah. It was a lot. That's the cry clip that I posted to Patreon yesterday. Yeah. That'll hit YouTube at some point.
I'm so glad I pushed the microphone away because I was making some pretty ugly sounds as I was crying right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kayla said from Facebook, Chris and Peaches, if you could have more of something with each other in the start of your relationship / marriage, what would you say it would be? And on my answer, it would be faith in you. Because there was a lot of fear during a lot of the beginning of us that there was not going to be, there was a lot of testing, I guess I should say. I did a lot of things to see if you were going to run away. And I wish that I wouldn't have done that. Like, that's a regret that I have. And granted, I know that, like, we've had long discussions about that and you understand why I did it. And I know that's not a fear for you anymore, but there is a concern that in doing that, I planted seeds that I can't rip up by the roots.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. There are some things that I still, like, will lay awake at night and think about, and, like, there's times where I'm like, is he actually meaning this? Because, like, he said this in the beginning, and a couple of times that I had the rug ripped out from underneath me. I should have walked away at certain times and I didn't.
Yeah, you should have. But I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah.
I'm glad this worked out the way that it did.
I recognize also, like, me not walking away was a trauma response in me. I was fawning.
Well, me pushing you away in those moments was a trauma response in me too. Yeah. So we were broken together.
Yeah.
Damaged goods.
What was the question?
What is something that you wish you would have given each other more of in the beginning of the relationship or marriage?
I can't think of anything.
No? That's good. That's good.
I really can't think of anything. I don't think I was perfect going into the relationship. There are things that I would have given less of myself to you, like my craziness.
Mm. Well, there you go.
But, like, my understanding was there clearly.
Yeah.
My grace was there. The want to love you was there.
Yeah, it's very easy for me to look back on the things that happened in the very beginning while we were still very broken and not, and go, okay, we could have done that better. Especially now because of how far we've come along. Like, I'm like, oh, that wasn't the move. You know what I mean? But somebody's asked multiple times on there if we talk about LGBTQ relationships. The real question is that any different? Is love between two people different because of their genders?
Is communication different because of genders?
Right.
The want to be understood, the want to be wanted.
Right. The answer is yes. We do it all the time.
The only thing that's different is where you're putting it. That's the only difference.
I agree. Every time I see those type of questions pop up, I feel like there are people just trying to get us.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they must hate these people.
Mm-hmm.
We've done emails from trans people.
Yeah.
That shit doesn't.
Same-sex relationships.
Right. It doesn't. None of that changes the ability to communicate with your partner.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if one of you has been extremely abused and the other one had a perfect fucking life, the ability to communicate would be vastly different, and that would be a conversation that would have to be worked through, and that's what we're trying to do.
There's also no judgment and shame here.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
I don't care who you're having sex with. I don't care who you're in love with, as long as they treat you right and you're treating them right and you guys are flourishing and happy and you're meeting goals and you have long-term, like, this is where we want to be in 5 years. This is what our retirement's going to look like. I'm going to say that's what I care about. I can't speak for my husband on that. I'm not going to put words in your mouth.
I want people to thrive. There is so much fucking ugly in the world, and as I've healed, the thing that I want most is compassion and empathy. Mm-hmm. Because I shut myself off from that in the universe for so long that, like, I'm able to cry and not apologize anymore.
Yeah.
Do you remember that the first time I cried in front of you? I apologized for hours over that.
You felt so fucking bad.
And I don't apologize anymore.
We even had a conversation after that of, like, you were really worried that I wasn't going to see you the same.
Mm-hmm. That's the reality for a lot of men.
Yeah.
And the reality is a lot of men with their women, seeing them in that vulnerable state, it does change the way that they view us. I got lucky, and that, the woman that I chose to be my partner for the rest of my life didn't change her perspective of me and wants to see that vulnerable side. That, not vulnerable is not the right word. That
emotionally open.
That half of me, right? Like that is a part of my psyche. It's a part of all of us. And to pretend that it's not is an issue in itself. But I want to be more compassionate. I want to be more empathetic. I want to be more understanding to the plights of people that we talk to. I think that it would give me a deeper understanding of humanity.
Yeah.
And that would be a huge win for me.
I would like to answer that if you're on board with that.
I'm fine with it.
All right. I was left wondering, after the other day's talk about Chris and Peaches separating from their parents, where are you both on forgiving your parents, should you even? So, where I am at with my understanding of the human psyche and how people respond to things and how trauma alters the way the brain works and all of those kinds of things, there is no anger or animosity in me towards my parents anymore. I understand that they are human beings who were doing the best in the moment that they thought they could do. Could they have done more? 100%. But, witnessing the things that I did as a child, the abuse, the neglect that not I was going through, that my parent was going through, and now being an adult and understanding how hard it is just having children in a healthy relationship, because children are still overwhelming. Children can still become too much. Children can still be the thorn in the side because they haven't listened all day and now they're kicking and screaming on the floor in the middle of a Walmart because they're not getting what they want. It's a lot. And now put all of that on top of everything my parents were going through in the moment. I can understand why there were reactions when there were reactions, or why there was short-tempered, or if I'm having a bad day, everybody's having a bad day, that kind of thing. That doesn't mean that it's okay. Me acknowledging that and understanding and having that acceptance of my parents are human beings too does not mean that everything that happened was okay. That forgiveness, they say that forgiveness is for you, not for them. And I have accepted that because I don't want to carry that anger and why did they do this to me? Well, they didn't do it to me. They were going through what they were going through in life and I got the fallout of it.
Right.
That doesn't mean that I'm going to tolerate behaviors that are still ongoing that happened in the past. I think that everybody, right? Everybody, but there's an asterisk there. Child molesters, pedophiles. Everybody excluding the extreme ends of things, abusers, people who physically harm the person that they are with, deserves a grace and understanding of, I can understand why you did what you did, but that doesn't mean that you're going to continue being in my life because I can understand it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I've forgiven everybody that's ever wronged me.
Yeah.
I don't hold on to that hate anymore, but just because I forgive you doesn't mean that you get a pass to be in my life.
Right.
And that's all there is to that. Oh, super chat. Darth Cinderin said, just wanted to send some more support. Love your work and this community. Things are finally moving my way now.
Love that. I absolutely love hearing that. I remember doing that Zoom call with him.
Yep. Mary Quite Contrary sent us $11 with no text. Scrolling.
Let me go get my food.
Okie dokie. Was it delivered?
It says he's approaching.
I didn't get a notification up
kidding
front.
Me. I know I didn't send it to the wrong house.
You would have had to send it here because that was the last address you used.
Right. Says it's complete.
Maybe they didn't get close enough to the sensor to trigger the alarm. The idea of us holding on to something that happened 15, 20 years ago or 40 years ago or however long it was, I believe that to a degree we are holding on to those things because it gives us an out. I did that because of this thing. I feel that way because of this thing. I am justified in my behavior because so and so did such and such to me. There is a level of victim and bruised ego and all of that. The things that I went through in my life, all of the bad, all of the ugly, all of the hurt, everything that I went through to get me to where I am. And I fucking like who I am. I can say with my full chest that I love myself now. And I've never been able to say that before. And I had to go through the things that I went through because now we have a platform and we're helping millions of people because we went through those things. And the things that we've gone through may have killed somebody else.
Right.
It may have been something that removed people's ability to move forward.
It was their last straw.
Right. So I don't harbor any ill will towards anybody in my life, including my parents.
Yep.
But I have zero interest in rekindling a relationship with them. I wouldn't tolerate that behavior from anyone else on the planet. And just because they share DNA with me doesn't mean that I'm going to tolerate it from them. That shared DNA means nothing.
What in the 7-Eleven Slurpee? I'm so hungry.
Sorry, I know you two say it a lot in your videos, but at this moment, I forgot how much is the max tier for Patreon. It depends. So the membership for Patreon that is the most popular is the $15 tier that gets you access to our Discord. The most expensive tier on Patreon is actually $115, but that gives you access to our private groups. That is a large ass piece of pita bread.
It's naan. Garlic naan. This is actually the bullet one. I like it being hot.
Okay. I don't know what any of that meant other than you like it hot.
You want to try it?
I kind of do because my breakfast was gross. No.
Frisbee it. It's spicy.
Actually?
Yeah. Supposed to have a little heat. I don't know what the sauce is, but I'm going to dip it in there.
It does have some spice to it.
Right?
I was able to taste it right away.
It's good.
If you had hummus, this would be the shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hot.
I can make hummus. Is it too much? I have a mango lassi. You want to take a little sippy sip?
I was not prepared.
No.
You're like, it's got some heat to it. I'm like, okay, I like some heat. Like some jalapeno heat? No.
No, this is Indian heat.
That's more like habanero heat.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, that's the thing.
You can feel it right on the tongue.
Jay said, amen, bro. I'm not signing up for a future that looks the same as my past. There you go. That's a great way to word that too. Peach, as a wife, what can I do to show my husband he is a man? We have read Chris's book and it caused a lot of conversation, but he does not see how his actions contribute to being a man. He feels like he is still falling short. How can I, as a wife, show him that he is not falling short?
I don't understand, because there were a lot of different things that you hit on in that book. And if your husband feels like he does not have any of the attributes that my husband listed in that book, he is falling short. Even just one of the attributes. You don't have to do everything in that book, everything that my husband does, but there are certain things that I expect out of a man.
Yep.
Be a man of your word. Be a man of integrity. Be a man who's willing to protect his family. And if he's not a man of his word or a man of integrity, I would encourage him to work on those things.
Yeah, I think the bigger question here is during the conversation of why he told you he feels he's falling short. Knowing the things that are his weakness are the things that you need to be working on together.
Right.
And being a wife means that you're a pillar. Mm-hmm. Right? We're supposed to lean on each other. Like we've said in the past, when my shield is too heavy to carry and I have to fight alone, you're going to have to pick my shield up and carry it for a little while. Like
right.
that's the way that goes. So somebody asked if that was like the one chip challenge chip. No, not at all. That one chip challenge chip was brutal. It was brutal. What book? I just joined. Well, we were talking about my book. I don't know how far into the chat we are, but I wrote a book. It's called No One's Coming to Save You. You can find it on Amazon or on our website, tobebetter.com. What kind of advice would you give to a situation of cutting off a parent and somehow they still think that means they have access to you through your child, their grandchild? I want my peace. It doesn't read right to me, but
how old is that child?
Good question. I don't like the idea of grandparent rights. I know that is a thing in some places, and people can like actually go to court to get rights to see kids and shit if you're a grandparent not proving that you're unfit. And I think that's fucking bullshit. I don't think that you should have a right to somebody else's child regardless of who you are. If it's
right.
not yours, dad, mom situation, nobody should have a right to that child.
Right.
I want to go like another 5 or 10 minutes and then
okay.
We'll switch over to Patreon.
Yeah. Do a Patreon Q&A.
What would be a good way to approach my man regarding watching this podcast without potentially making him feel like I think there's something wrong with our relationship? Don't make it about your relationship.
Be about personal growth.
Yep.
Treat it like Jerry Springer.
That's it. That's where I was going to go. Treat it like Jerry Springer. Be like, I found a podcast that talks about other people's relationships, and some of these people are dumpster fires. You want to listen to this with me? And make it that.
Yep.
And in that way, you guys can have the conversations about your relationship while listening to the podcast, and it not be about your relationship. That's where the people get the biggest benefit in doing what we're doing. What Kenya said, hubby being so vulnerable is an insane aphrodisiac. I'm getting there. We got another super chat just popped up.
Oh, okay.
Lauren said, have been a silent listener for a while. I just wanted to say I love you guys. Currently about to get your book. Looking forward to reading it.
I love that.
Yeah, me too. Jasmine said, I just put it on. If my husband chooses to watch it, then that's cool. Just because I like something doesn't mean he has to. I agree with that, but I don't think that's what they were trying to get. I think they were trying to sit down and connect. That I do view that as a request for connection. If I'm like, hey, I really enjoy this thing, Magic. Like, what do you think about us going to play Magic again? And we had that conversation. Mm-hmm. That's not really about me playing Magic. I can do that on Arena. It was about us finding a hobby to do and like things to talk about. And we've been connecting over for the last 72 hours. We've been deck building and playing Arena, and like it's been new for us. Mm-hmm. But you guys don't mistake a request for a connection as a trivial thing.
Right.
If people are trying to get your attention in a relationship and they want you to be a part of the things that they're wanting you, like that they're passionate about, they're showing you that they're growing and changing, and they're trying to drag you along voluntarily.
Yeah.
Because it's a whole lot different than the fucking Clockwork Orange shit.
Yeah.
Watch this, you know.
Yeah.
Versus, hey, this really interests me, and I would love it if you were a part of it. So
I have more fun when you're around. So do you want to try this?
that's it. Jenna said there was nothing wrong with our relationship when I found y'all. I was simply drawn to y'all because of your constant strive towards growth.
I love that.
I'm glad you've stuck around this entire time. You're one of our favorite people around.
Jenna has become one of my inner circle friends.
I know. I love that.
Which is crazy because like I don't text people that often, but I still view her as one of my closer people.
Yeah.
I go to her when I'm having hard times for a reality check. Yeah.
Belle asked how many books I've sold. I am still under 1,000.
Thought you were over 1,000.
Still, I'm still under. It's like 800 or 900. Is the book on Kindle or audiobook? It is on Kindle. The audiobook will happen. It's just not there yet. I'm probably going to get after we get back from our retreat.
Renee just said, honestly, I won't lie, I'm one of those dumpster fires, but we're doing better. You want to know the best thing about a dumpster fire? It can be put out.
Yep. It's a lot. You can do like I said earlier, what you're not changing, you're choosing.
Yeah.
Iggy said it took my man nearly 2 years to start listening to the podcast with me, but now we watch together and are both in the Discord, and I can literally feel how much closer we feel.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Yesterday morning, I don't know why I just thought of this, but I'm going to say this anyway. Yesterday morning, I was having a really, really hard morning. Like my husband was still in bed asleep, and I walked into the room as quietly as I could. I gathered up my clothes, and I was going to leave the house and text you and be like, I'm having a fucking bad morning. I'm going to go out to my Yakahachie and go for a walk. Put Bane in his kennel and leave. And you got up, you came and you checked on me, and you were like, do you want me to come with you? And it took everything in me to not say no. Because that would have been division. And I just said, old me wouldn't have even second thought that. That's another big step in my growth. I was like full-blown autistic meltdown yesterday morning.
Yeah. But look how much shit we worked through in that hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like it is... There's something to be said about somebody realizing that their partner's going through it and not getting angry or defensive and just being there, right? Like even if we didn't talk yesterday, we just walked the dogs and we were in silence the whole time. You not being alone says a lot. It does give you the opportunity that in the event that you wanted to talk about it, you could. Mm-hmm. But in everything that was going on yesterday, there were choices that I could have made. I could have been mad. Like, how dare you not talk to me about what's going on, right? Like, I could be mad that you're going through emotions again. Like, how dare you feel these things, whatever it is that you're feeling, because at the time I had no fucking idea what was going on. But you were going through what you were going through, and the only thing that I could do as your husband is be supportive. And in the reality of things, if you were like, no, I really just need to be alone right now, that would have fucking crushed me.
Right.
But I would have been like, okay, babe, I understand. I would really like to be filled in when you get home on what's going on so that I'm at least aware of what's happening. But I just want people to realize that if one person's fucked up in the relationship, your relationship's fucked up. And it's not a reflection of you all the time. Sometimes it's just somebody's going through something and you need to be there for them. And sometimes that means, sitting in silence or not going. Where can I find a book, a hard copy? We don't have the hard copy. It's just a soft copy, a paperback, right, and a Kindle. Scrolling down, super chat. Watch Peach's GWP letter started my fitness journey.
I love that.
Awesome.
Good for you.
I think we should wrap up and move over to Patreon.
Okay. I am down to do that.
All right. Guys, thanks for tuning in. If you guys are a member of our Patreon community, there will be a link posted in the Discord in the next 5 or 10 minutes. And then we will be over there to do the same thing that we're doing here, but we're just going to hang out. We're not going to do anything real significant today. So with that being said, guys, we will see you when we see you.
Bye, guys.